So yes, guys, as I was saying, this is the convention center, the Sophia Convention Center. This new building I'm not familiar with, but behind it, that's the Pasha Global 5-star Hotel and Resort. And as I was saying, this is a massive investment. I would estimate that they spent at least $100 million initially to construct this building. And that would be in comparison to the business model used by Giftland Mall. Giftland started out as a small building. The tall building in the middle, that building was the first that was constructed. And for the first 10 years or so, that was the only building on this site. And then they started adding buildings. They added an extension to the side here, to the north side of the building, to the main building. It's just a long, low-slung building. They've added that extension now twice. And that basically holds the new vendors, Giftland's own department store, and so on. The tall building still holds the cinema, and then they built seems like a fun fantasy building next door, I guess, for games and entertainment and so on. So their model is to add to the complex as time went on. What we can see here, of course, that is the back end of the international school next door to Pasha. As you can see, the Pasha building dwarfs. This is now a 14-story building so far. I don't know if they're going to make it up to 16 floors, but there's 14 floors, and it dwarfs the international school and so on. So that is what is in this neighborhood, in this neck of the woods. As we head out north, we go past the headquarters, the Caricom headquarters. So that's Caricom headquarters. People are saying that they haven't seen Caricom headquarters before. I have featured it in previous videos and walk-arounds in this neck of the woods. Caricom headquarters is at the end of the street, at the intersection with the railway road and this new road that was built by the government to provide access to Giftland Mall. This is the side entrance to Convention Center. Now this is my grouse, my complaint. There is no standard, good afternoon, there is no standard building code for sidewalks in Guyana. So what happens is you make it up as you go along. This is a new sidewalk. It seems to be twice as wide, maybe 3 times as wide as the sidewalks around that have been built around the country. And then there are these slopes, these ramps, right? Clearly nobody took into consideration that maybe people in wheelchairs might want to use these sidewalks, so you want to make them level and smooth. This is not nitpicking, as some people seem to think. This is about standardized construction, making the country meet some standardized protocols so that the entire country feels like it's unified. We're going through an amazing and enormous growth phase, economic growth phase, and it's not being managed well because what is happening is we're getting haphazard construction and very poor quality construction. This is the Sophia Convention Center being dwarfed by the Pasha Global 5-star Hotel and Resort. But of course also in this neighborhood you have the Caricom headquarters and the road into Giftland at the end of the street. Let me just cross over, give you another view of these sidewalks. Again, as you can see, There is no standard building code that is being followed when these sidewalks were constructed. But this sidewalk is double wide compared to. So this is the headquarters, Caricom headquarters building here at, was it Turkine? Pattinson, Turkine. On the opposite side, the Sevilla Convention Center with what seems like 100 Guyanese flags on flagpoles. Still not clear what the inspiration for the architectural details on the Artichong Convention Center is, but it does seem to be Indian inspired, from India, right? It seems a lot more like the buildings constructed in India. With the arches and the domes and so on, the sharp edges. But on the other side, this is the Caricom headquarters. This massive field of solar panels in the front, on the front lawn of the building. That's new. I haven't seen that before. This is a massive lay of solar panels. But in front of the Caricom building, so that's the building, Caricom building. In terms of architectural detail and inspiration, I'm not so sure either. These are new, I guess, office buildings going up here in front of the Caricom building. But yeah, like I said, I'm not so sure who the architect is for the Caricom building or what is the inspiration for this architectural design. But this is what it looks like now in 2025. I think it was built more than 20 years ago. Caricom headquarters here in Guyana. It was actually paid for, I believe, by the Guyana government, so it's a building that was donated to Caricom. The headquarters was donated to Caricom, and it houses Caricom operations for the entire region. Right, the Caricom headquarters here in Turkine, Guyana. Ahead, you can see they're still working on widening the railway road, and so at various points along this east coast section of the railway road, traffic is being diverted to allow for the construction. That's the Caricom Secretariat. In fact, that's what it says, Caricom Community Secretariat. I just wanted to read the label on the front of the building. Right, it says Caribbean Community Secretariat. That's the Caricom building for some people who have asked for it. And of course, on the front lawn, on both sides, what you're looking at, that shiny surface, these are hundreds of solar panels. So they've covered the front lawn on both sides of the entrance with solar panels, which is new and interesting. SBM Offshore occupies this building. They have their headquarters over here, and This, of course, is the street that runs beside Movie Town and the new mega superstore that is the Massey Superstore. At this section, that is the Turkine section of the railway embankment. You can see still major construction work going on with the widening of this road. As you can see, they have built out the drains. They've built the drains out. They've already started to backfill the side, the shoulder, to create the widening of the road. And the road is closed today on Saturday, I guess, so that these guys could get a head start on the construction work. This is what is happening here. All right, this is what is happening here on the railway road here at Turkine. This last section, what I wanted to do is show you a new set of residential buildings that are being constructed. I promise to show what's happening with residential construction in this neck of the woods, because in the past I've actually pointed it out in the distance, but this is the first time I'm actually gonna, or the second time I'm actually gonna take a closer look at the construction. So this is SBM Offshore. They now occupy this building. This used to be a office building that was rented by Caricom. Caricom now has their own building, I suppose, adequate space, and now that building is now being rented by SBM Offshore, one of the vendors for the oil and gas industry. But what is happening here is that they're now building multi-unit condominiums. Right, these are multi-unit condominium buildings under construction behind this green fabric, construction fabric, and it's opposite the Movie Town complex. That's Movie Town, right? That's the Movie Town complex, and Massey stores. This is Massey Megastore. Massey Megastore here at Turkine. Still a whole lot of space, as you can see. A lot of land that is yet to be developed. Most likely going to become some residential residential property. This building, I think, is under construction. I don't know who's doing it, what's being built. There's a lot of help wanted signs on the outside. But here, this is a gated community that is under construction, and the building under construction seems to be a multi-unit condominium that is about, seems like 2 stories tall, and it's L-shaped. Based on that's the entrance to Movie Town. But over here, yes, this is there's another set of condominiums, multi-unit buildings in that compound, but this is the new construction of condominiums in this neck of the woods, and it's directly opposite Massey Megastore. So you can see that says a massive mega store in the compound of Movie Town. So this is what is being constructed. Here it seems as if it's going to be a number of units side by side in a two-story range, a separate building that seems to be running east-west, and then this is another building running north-south on the construction here at Caricom along this access road that goes between the East Coast Highway, that is the Rupert Craig Highway, and the railway road. That's the Movie Town building. I still haven't given a tour inside Movie Town. Promise to do that eventually so that you can see, for comparison, the size of this small Movie Town mall compared to Giftland and the new Royal Mega Mall and the Amazonia Mall. But this is what is happening here on the East Coast. Seems to be a lot of residential construction going up. Eventually, I guess this entire compound will be filled with residential buildings. But this is a development that's happening in this neck of the woods. As you can see in the distance, that is the Pasha Global 5-star Hotel and Resort in the background, and here in the foreground, that's the new multi-unit condominium complex that's rising out of this neighborhood. And of course, next door to Movie Town, it will be very convenient location now because of access to Giftland Mall, to Movie Town, the massive mega store, and all the new amenities developing rapidly in this neck of the woods. What this new, well, it's not new anymore, it's about at least 5 years old now, but what this Movie Town mall complex is known for is, of course, the movie theaters and the cafes. But inside, I suppose there are a few vendors and some entertainment. So there are restaurants and some entertainment and movie theaters. That's what Movie Town is known for. But we're gonna stop here because I'm gonna leave the tour of Movie Town for another day. Perhaps tomorrow when I'm back in this neck of the woods. But that's what's up, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. The next village west of where we are is Pattinson, and that's the traffic on the East Coast on a Saturday afternoon. Traffic backed up for miles, of course, because the railway road is under construction and closed along several parts, which means that all the traffic gets diverted to this Rupert Craig Highway. But that's it, guys. That's what's up in this neck of the woods. Share this video with friends and family around the world. That's the tiny Ferris wheel in the Movie Town complex. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later. East Coast traffic on a Saturday afternoon in Georgetown. Traffic on the east coast of Demerara on a Saturday afternoon.